I'm Simon. I work here at the VFW. I am very excited to be joined by SIREN. We were born in the same city.
Yes, I know. What a small world we
Yeah,
come
exactly.
into.
Reading in England. And we're also now both here in the same room. Behind us, we have SIREN's visuals all set up. We have the Void sound system. My understanding is that Mason, who curates Doinks and Dubstep, along with Concrete Jungle
Yes.
in this instance, encountered you when you were performing in Minneapolis on a tour.
Yes, that's
recently.
correct. So last year in November, I believe it was, I was on tour supporting Chase and Status, and I believe that Mason was in the crowd that night, along with Sean.
Sean from Concrete Jungle.
From Concrete Jungle. Saw that I jumped back on and how well it was received by the crowd, and here I am.
Regarding that time, you posted you were manifesting this one for a while, turning dreams into reality. Could you expand a little bit on the experience of that tour and how it matched up with your intentions for yourself and your sense of what you wanted to be doing?
It was incredibly surreal for me, first of all, just to have that opportunity. And actually, I don't know, it depends what you believe in. If you believe in the fate and the stars aligning, I was explaining to Sean earlier that my uni freshers, the artists that played...
Uni freshers, I can understand what you're saying.
The artists that played my uni freshers were actually Chase and Status. And at the time, I didn't know them. And I was introduced to drum and bass from that night.
Okay, so what I know is that you then became the liaison.
Yeah.
So that's wild. So
yes.
So fresh in England,
it's the first
new
parties at your college or uni.
You're fresh at the university. The freshers bops. At Cambridge, we would call them bops. I remember being a fresher.
Yeah, those wild days.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're still having wild days too.
Just in a different way.
So Chase and Status
They played my uni freshers, and then I was sort of listening to drum and bass, starting to get into it.
Yeah.
Once I graduated, I went to Ibiza for a few seasons, and that's when I worked my way up from being a ticket seller for their headline night at the drum and bass night. Then I became...
So you kind of followed them after encountering them.
Not in a stalkery way.
But they invited you.
Yeah, I just saw that they were playing. They were the only people that I knew because I wasn't into other genres at the time. Went to that night regularly, became the stage manager and artist liaison. And so I've been building a relationship and a rapport for a long time, and then decided to pursue DJing myself in music production, and was fortunate enough that a few years in, this tour came along and I was able to be a part of it.
I already knew the final 2/3 of that story, but I didn't know that it began with you being a fresher and being
they don't know that part.
What they might do in the future. Now it's full circle. Yeah.
It was a very full circle moment.
You said that each show on that tour that you went on with them brought a new level of energy.
Yeah.
Are there any specifics that kind of encapsulate the energy of that particular first experience of Minneapolis?
Yes, and as always, you never know what to expect. You never know how the crowd are going to respond to you. As a new artist who's emerging onto the scene, people haven't necessarily heard of you, they might not know your music, so you're not sure, you can't guarantee a reaction from them. But actually, when I was playing some of my own music, released and unreleased, the reaction really came in. I could hear the crowd, they were into it, they were coming back with me with the energy so I could match them, and it just really fed me, and so I could give more, and I was like throwing in random tracks and just really going for it.
Yeah, we should highlight that you are a producer.
Yeah.
And I've been listening to a lot of your music. Vengeance is my favorite.
Oh,
I will have my
an
Vengeance.
OG track.
That's from 2022?
2022, yeah.
Will you be playing any of your own tracks in your sets tonight?
Yes, of course. I've got lots of my tracks that I'm going to play that I have released, and actually lots of unreleased tracks that I want to test out, gauge the crowd reaction on.
Lucky us.
Yeah, exactly. I've got 2 tracks coming out in October on Blackout, which I'm really excited about. I've been wanting to release on that label for a long time, so I'm hoping that the crowd go off for those.
Excellent. And you're going to play those tonight?
Yes.
What are the names of those tracks?
Reset the System and Fully Loaded.
On your website, your kind of mission statement is that you are defining your sound within the scene and that you want to set the standard for with your production.
Yes.
So now that we've highlighted that you are a producer too and that you'll be playing those tracks that you'll be releasing soon, could you expand a little bit more on your production style and or perhaps how you found yourself also producing music? You've already shared a bit of your backstory.
Yes.
How does that feed in? Whether that's
I think because for most people they either start as a producer and then end up DJing, or they start as a DJ and you realise you need to produce as well. I kind of just did them simultaneously. I wanted to DJ and I also knew that, especially in today's scene, you need to be putting out your own music as well to have a certain level of success, in my personal opinion. So I set myself the task of, within a year of my first professional show, I will have released a track. So I went away after my first show, I enrolled in the London Sound Academy, I had lessons in production, and 10 months later I released my first track. And so I met my own target.
Congratulations.
Yeah, and I've continued to do so.
Absolutely, yes, yeah, and you're continuing to manifest in an intentional way. Could you expand a bit more on how these two components, your lived experience of these two components going hand in hand?
I think for me, producing is a creative outlet, as we were talking about earlier. It's a therapy in its own right, and I can sit down and even if there's things that I might struggle to vocalize or emotions that I'm struggling with, I can put it all into that production and then that is a release. And there's nothing more rewarding than compiling a set together for a show and being able to put your own music in there. It's great to mix other people's music, and of course we all love it, but when you can find your own, you've made your own tunes and you find another tune that works perfectly with it and you get that amazing blend, it's its own
like
euphoric
alchemy.
moment. Yeah. It's really nice.
For me in particular, like with these specific speakers, with like these Void system, it is visceral to feel that and to be not just like the front person or the songwriter or the DJ, but to be one of a sea of people that are engaging with the music and that are feeling the power from systems like this. Could you expand a little bit on that side of things and maybe perhaps your experience of that in England as opposed to or in relation to your experience of dancing and rave scenes in the States?
I have to say, certainly in the UK, drum and bass is a community. It's a family. People come from all different walks of life. We all share this one passion for drum and bass, and nothing matters. You're just in the moment. It's about the music, and there's just so much love in one space and in one room. And that is like nothing I've ever experienced. Some places you can go to, not necessarily in the music industry, and there's that lack of sense of community. You don't know that people are going to have your back and look out for you. But when you're in that rave culture of drum and bass, you know that if you're struggling or you see someone having a bad time or anything, everyone around you, they're going to pick you up and you're going to carry on, and then this just be that moment that you can't explain. It wouldn't happen anywhere else, and the magic of it. I haven't raved as much here in the States, so I don't know if the community is the same, but from what I've seen as on the decks out in the crowd, it looks like that is forming and it's building and it's becoming bigger and bigger and it's translating across the ocean, which is amazing.
Absolutely. Good. Well, I mean, I have, and I can say it's alive and well.
Yeah.
And the community that I've experienced is unlike anything else. This sound system is so spectacular. What I was talking about earlier with being a part of a sea of people and feeling the music. Now, today, tonight, here at the VFW with our special guest all the way from England would be the perfect time for you to experience for yourself what we're talking about.
Yes, please come down.
Enjoy
It'll
us.
be amazing to rave with everyone and feel the music through your soul with this amazing sound system.